There are many images that symbolize the United States, but there's a lot of images that symbolize specific things within the United States. We all know this guy, but few know where he actually comes from. On today's episode, we're going to be looking at the origins of Uncle Sam and what he symbolizes. I'm Christian Murray, and this is the Founders Club. At this time, there's already a few human symbols for the United States. Columbia was a female personification of America and liberty. There's also a male personification named Brother Jonathan that would be popularized during the Revolutionary War, and he stood for America and capitalism. Brother Jonathan really resembled the Uncle Sam we know today. When it comes to Uncle Sam, the origin of his character is pretty unclear. But there is a popular legend that the character of Uncle Sam stems from a man named Samuel Wilson. Samuel Wilson was a meatpacker in Troy, New York, and he would become known as Uncle Sam Wilson around Troy. During the War of 1812, Samuel Wilson inspected and provided rations for American soldiers. At the time, there was a requirement for contractors to stamp their name and where the rations came from on the side of their packages. Wilson's packages were labeled EAUS, and the soldiers and workers joked that it stood for Elber Anderson, who was the contractor, and Uncle Sam, which referred to Wilson, even though it actually stood for the United States. The local paper picked up on the story, and Uncle Sam eventually gained widespread acceptance as the nickname for the United States government. We don't know if this legend is actually true or if it just added on to the image of Uncle Sam, but there is a reference to an Uncle Sam in the original lyrics of Yankee Doodle in 1775. Old Uncle Sam come there to change some pancakes and some onions for lasses cakes or carry home to give his wife and young ones. It is not clear whether this reference is to Uncle Sam as a symbol for the United States or to an actual person named Sam. Sam also appeared in an 1810 diary entry that stated, "I swear that Uncle Sam, as they call him, would certainly forever have lost his services of at least one sailor." Whatever the story is, Uncle Sam's image exploded after the War of 1812. Uncle Sam appeared in political cartoons, literature, and so much more. His image changed from time to time, and he even was drawn as Benjamin Franklin. Over time, Uncle Sam started merging with the symbol of Brother Jonathan as they were used interchangeably. Instead of representing America and capitalism like Brother Jonathan, Uncle Sam came to personify specifically the United States federal government and its power. Before long, Brother Jonathan would disappear while Uncle Sam gained fame. This usually goes beyond the scope of the channel, but on today's episode we're going to be going past early American history because, well, it's so interesting. In the mid to late 1800s, a cartoonist named Thomas Nast, which created the image of Santa Claus and the representations of the Democrat and Republican parties with the donkey and elephant, started popularizing the image of Uncle Sam. He eventually gave Sam the white beard and stars and stripes suit. This helped represent the Union during the Civil War, and it told any rebels to mind their Uncle Sam. Uncle Sam became a rallying cry during times of war for the United States. An interesting point that can be made is whenever the United States federal government became more involved in international affairs and foreign powers, so did Uncle Sam. The image that we all know today was painted by James Montgomery Flagg. It depicted an elderly man with white hair and a goatee wearing a white top hat with white stars and a blue band, a blue tailcoat, and red and white striped trousers. It was widely dispersed in World War I with the words, "I want you" underneath. Whatever the origin, Uncle Sam has been a popular symbol for the United States federal government in American culture, and a manifestation of patriotic emotion. And it's interesting to see how whenever the federal government changes, so does Uncle Sam. But what do you guys think? We always want to know your ideas on this topic. What do you guys think about his origins, and what do you think about his evolution? Most people, whenever they see Sam, they know exactly what he stands for. Well, I think that's all we have for today's episode, so if you like this video, hit that like button, and we want you to subscribe to the Founders Club, so hit that subscribe button. And, well, history is a great story that needs to be told, so tell it.